Hello there, world. It's Nathan Lyle, your host here today on this episode of The Fan Perspective. And it's almost week 7, and I'm here to give you some predictions. Last week was horrible. I went 5-9, mostly from lack of preparation. I'm doing a much better job this week, and, well, here we go. It is Friday, of course, so we're only going to do the 1 o'clock games right now, and there's a lot of them. Saturday's show is going to be relatively small. There's only like 4 games played after 3 o'clock. So here's starting with the 1 o'clock games. We have the Cardinals at the Vikings. And I think I have to go with the Vikings just because they are at home. You never know when Percy Harvin is going to freak. And Adrian Peterson has just been waiting to go beast mode. I don't know when he's going to unleash. The Cardinals started off the season very well, but so have the Vikings. Both teams have been playing surprisingly well. I think I just like the Vikings more right now. And the Cowboys at the Panthers. The Panthers have been horrible all season long. They've just been a horrible team. And while it's hard to trust the Cowboys because they have been so inconsistent, it's harder to pick a team that's only won 1 game this season. And I think the Cowboys, you saw last week, they at least started making strides. They showed a dedication to the run. They showed explosiveness in the passing attack. And that was against a Ravens defense, which was so much better than the Panthers. And then you have the Saints at the Buccaneers. And the Saints, they finally won their first game of the season. However, in this divisional matchup, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers because I like their defense better. And the Bucs offense has started gelling a little bit more lately. Should be able to do should be able to do pretty well against the Saints' porous defense. Whereas the Buccaneers defense has been relatively stingy for most of the year. And of course, there will be doubters who are going to point out the second half against the Giants where Eli comes back from a huge deficit. But I consider that the exception, not the norm. If you look at their numbers outside of those 2 quarters, they've been playing pretty well. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. Then you have the Packers at the Rams. And the Rams have been playing good football this year. But the Packers should be able to easily dominate this one, especially if Aaron Rodgers plays like he did last week. Then you have the Redskins at the Giants. And I'm actually going with the Redskins for the upset. Why? The Giants are undefeated outside of the division, but winless against NFC East opponents. They lost to the Cowboys, they lost to the Eagles, they're going to lose to the Redskins. Then you have the Ravens at the Texans. The Ravens lost Ray Lewis and Ladarius Webb for the year. Haloti Ngata and Ed Reed are both playing hurt. Terrell Suggs has yet to return. The Ravens defense has given up 200 rushing yards in 2 straight contests. And that was with Ray Lewis. And now they're going up against Arian Foster and Ben Tate. The Texans' defense looks much weaker without Brian Cushing, but Joe Flacco is not Aaron Rodgers. You have to go with the Texans for this one. And then you have the Titans at the Bills. Both of these teams have been pretty disappointing this season. But so far, Chris Johnson, for the past couple of weeks, it looks like he might be back to form. And I have trouble choosing the Bills in any contest. So I'm going with the Titans to win this one. And then you have the Browns at the Colts. And these are 2 teams who had top 5 picks last year's draft. And it looks like in next year's draft, they're both. And I thought that in next year's draft, they were both going to have top 5 picks. And it's hard to really go with any of these teams. Both have had good games. Both have had more bad games. It's honestly very hard to decide. And I think I want to go with the Browns again. I think the Colts have played well. And I probably should pick them. It might be a little safer. But I'm just really liking the Browns. They've played great. They've actually played some good football all year. They've only lost because, well, let's face it, they are the Browns. But the Colts aren't really a scary team right now. Yes, they can pull some upsets, but I think I'm going to go with the Browns here. They beat a much better Cincinnati team last week. I think they're safe. I think the Browns are becoming a much safer team to pick against weaker opponents such as the Colts. So, tune in tomorrow. We've only got 4 games to predict. And Sunday is fantasy football. This has been the Fan Perspective. I'm Nathan Lyle. Happy Friday.